Nearly 2 years after the death of Friends star Matthew Perry, this morning the woman charged with supplying the dose of ketamine that ultimately killed him will now be pleading guilty.
I'm a drug addict. I'm a person that if I have a drink, I can't stop. And so it would be following your ideology that I'm choosing to do that. I'm choosing.
That's exactly not my ideology, it is my belief. Yes, you do choose.
The autopsy says that Matthew Perry did die from acute effects of ketamine and subsequent drowning. He was found face down in the pool at his own home, and authorities say that there was no foul play.
When I die, I don't want friends to be the first thing that's mentioned. I want that to be the first thing that's mentioned, and I'm going to live the rest of my life proving that. I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, was a seeker. His paramount thing is that he wants to help people. I want people to understand that they're not alone, that there are other people feeling exactly the way they're feeling.
Matthew Perry, who was famous for his role as Chandler on Friends, his family and his fans are finally going to get a little bit of closure because the Ketamine Queen has now decided to plead guilty. In this video, we're going to figure out who is the Ketamine Queen. What is ketamine? We're going to look at all the research and all the information we have leading up to Matthew Perry's death. For those of you who did not watch Friends, this is Matthew Perry as Chandler.
Oh, boy, do I feel bad.
Oh, yeah.
Very bad.
Chandler, what are you doing?
Chandler?
Oh, my God. You're smoking again?
Well, actually, yesterday I was smoking again. Today I'm smoking still.
Why would you start again after chewing all that quitting gum?
I'm telling you, this is just like my parents' divorce, which is when I started smoking in the first place.
Weren't you 9?
Yeah? I'm telling you something, that first smoke after nap time.
Is it true that the reason you're here in Tulsa is that you fell asleep in a meeting and took the job without realizing what you were saying yes to?
Well, don't believe everything you hear, Ken. But yeah, that's true. All right, let's get started by taking a look at last quarter's figures. Claudia, aren't you supposed to blow smoke up the boss's ass?
I'm sorry, does the smoke bother you?
No. I smoked for years. Then I quit. Right now, I can't remember why. You're not allowed to smoke in this office, though, right?
Yes, in Oklahoma, it's legal to smoke in offices with 15 people or less. Would you like one?
All right, look, I don't smoke anymore. But if the rest of you want to light up, go ahead. That's fine. So you all smoke, then? No, it's almost rude that I'm not smoking.
Well, that's not true if you don't want to smoke.
Ken, please! No, I can't smoke. If I smoke, my wife would kill me.
I'm sorry, but isn't your wife back in New York?
I've always liked you, Ken.
I picked this clip not only because it's funny, but it does bring up addiction. That's the purpose of this video, is to talk about addiction. I believe that is essentially what happened to Matthew Perry. When he met the Ketamine Queen, it is reported.
According to court documents, Sangha initially learned Perry was interested in ketamine and offered him a sample. Within weeks, she'd provided up to 50 vials in exchange for cash.
And that was a clear indicator that he became easily addicted to it, and it unfortunately became the cause of his death. It just shows you that addiction is very serious. Let's get back to why we are here, and that is to learn about Jasveen Sangha, also known as the Ketamine Queen. First, we need to know exactly what ketamine is. What is ketamine? Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects. It distorts perception of sight and sound and makes the user feel disconnected and not in control. You basically feel like you're outside of your body. Now, back to Jasveen Sangha. Who is Jasveen Sangha? Allegedly, she ran an underground drug operation in North Hollywood. According to authorities, she supplies ketamine and other substances to high-profile celebrities. According to NBC News, she earned a bachelor's from the University of California, Irvine in 2005. The Ketamine Queen was well known and respected for some reason for her services and she had all of the accolades that made her credible. What she did when it came to distributing ketamine is illegal. I'm not the biggest fan of conspiracy theories, but I found this video.
Matthew Perry was trying to tell us something before his death with his references to Batman. In the week prior to his passing, he would post multiple posts referencing Batman. And this is what had people speculating for a long time that something isn't right with Matthew Perry's death. It would start out with "No need to worry, everybody, I've got the streets tonight," with the Batman movie showing, and this was October 17th, 2023. And then 2 days later, he would post this Batman symbol in the water saying, "Sleep well, everybody, I've got the city tonight, Batman." Then he would post again on October 22nd, "Do you know what I mean?" And then posted again on October 22nd, "Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Batman." And then Matthew Perry's very last post shows him in a hot tub. And honestly, the Batman symbol could mean two things. And we know that Batman himself fights against evil.
The behavior that Matthew Perry is showing, in my opinion and how I see it, is Matthew Perry was clearly high and he was using his phone a lot. He is showing behaviors of someone who is high. The synchronicities of Batman, maybe when he was high on ketamine, he loved Batman. He even called himself Matman. However, this is behavior of someone who is high, where people who are high, they like to post on social media. This, to me, is behavior of someone who is addicted to drugs.
But if you read his memoir, his very last chapter in that book was titled Batman. And his very last paragraph in his memoir, in the last chapter, Batman reads, "The one thing I got right is that I never gave up. I never raised my hands and said, 'That's enough. I can't take it anymore. You win.' And because of that, I stand tall now, ready for whatever comes next. Someday you too might be called upon to do something important, so be ready for it."
He might have wrote the book completely sober. We have to remember, ketamine is a highly addictive drug, and so if he loves Batman as sober Matthew Perry, he probably is more infatuated with Batman when he's high. So that could, in my opinion, explain the Batman post. What I'm seeing is that Matthew Perry would get super high off ketamine, possibly more, and then he will sit in his hot tub. Yes, it's weird, but that's most likely what he did when he was high. He had all the access to the drug that he liked, the appetite for addiction. What I'm observing is that Matthew Perry was unfortunately a victim of addiction.
Prosecutors say Jasveen Sangha, known as the Ketamine Queen, has accepted a plea agreement on 5 federal charges for her role in the actor's fatal overdose.
Since the tragic passing of Matthew, it took them almost an entire year to bring her into custody. Matthew passed away in October of 2023. She wasn't taken into custody until August 2024. Check this out. What else I found will shock you. Sangha worked with Eric Fleming to knowingly distribute ketamine to Perry. In October 2023, Sangha and Fleming sold Perry 51 vials of ketamine, which was provided to Kenneth Awamasa, Perry's live-in personal assistant. You gotta remember this. Remember the name Kenneth Awamasa. Jasveen Sangha, known as Ketamine Queen, is not the only person involved and not the only person that will plead guilty in the upcoming trial. Leading up to his death, Kenneth injected Matthew with ketamine up to 3 times. I know this is hard to get through, but Matthew has spoken about addiction way before he died.
Perry had spoken at length about his longtime battle with addiction, opening up to our Diane Sawyer the year before he died.
You say, addiction, the big terrible thing, is far too powerful for anyone to defeat alone. But together, one day at a time, we can beat it down.
Your disease is just outside, just doing one-arm push-ups, just waiting for you, waiting to get you alone.
I want to ask the question, could Matthew have wanted that amount of ketamine inside of his system that led to his death? Did he want to overdose? No. The way that everyone's coming forward, this seems to be more like an accident and just a very tragic story of what addiction looks like for someone in Hollywood. This next part is going to make things even more suspicious. Fleming admitted in court documents that he distributed the ketamine that killed Perry. Prosecutors said that upon learning about Perry's death, Sangha called Fleming on Signal to discuss how to distance themselves from it, including instructing him to delete all messages. Just pause this video to read the rest of this. I will put this article in the description. There's 2 other doctors that came forth, and they're going to plead guilty as well. And that is Dr. Placentia and Dr. Chavez. It is important that we realize that the Ketamine Queen, Jasveen Sangha, was the last person to come forward and will plead guilty. That is important, knowing all of the information that we have now. She was the last person to do so. If you made it this far, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next video.